It's Samuel Larsen here, and I wanted to cover a topic that I get a lot of questions about, and this is concerning the actual importance of design and what kind of a difference does design really make. Because we get really two kinds of people, and on the one group, people are saying that design doesn't matter. They even say that ugly actually converts better, and design just takes away from the message, it distracts people, etc. Then, on the other hand, there seems to be the hardcore design enthusiasts that believe that every website needs to look amazing and nobody wants to buy from the ugly website. So it's very divided line between these two, and I wanted to kind of explore which group is right, or is there perhaps a middle ground there. Okay, so this is a little bit complicated of a topic to begin with, because obviously we cannot really measure design. So it is difficult to come up with anything scientific here and say like, okay, we should get 90% great design or something like that. So obviously, since this is not possible, let's focus on the data-driven design and the metrics that we can actually use. So measurable approach to design basically would state that your opinion, it actually doesn't really matter, because data is something that is abstract. Data doesn't really care about opinions, and at the end of the day, like, web design is not really about creativity. It is about making websites that sell and complete those business goals. So because websites have a purpose, we want people to buy our stuff, to fill our forms, whatever the purpose of that single page is. And the best design really is the design that brings in the most money. All right, so what I would think is a good divider here is to think above the fold design and below the fold design. And fold is simply the part of the website that you can actually see when you first land on it without scrolling. Okay, so above the fold design. We could say a couple things from this generally. Generally, above the fold doesn't necessarily sell the product. But the point of above the fold design is to kind of like give you a fighting chance to sell the product. So when people land at the website, we just want them to continue. We want to be engaging, and we don't want them to hit that back button. Now, people are visual people, obviously. Most of them and us process things through our eyes. So this part is a lot faster than this part here. And what we want to do is provide them, for example, with images, because we process that a lot faster than text. And people are really quick to judge these days. So if your design looks bad, the page looks bad, people will instantly trust you less and are more likely to go back and not even read anything on, for example, in this landing page. So I would say above the fold design is actually pretty important. And obviously there's more to that than just design. It's the headline, it's the sub-headline, the bullet points, whatever. But design will actually give you a chance for your content to be read. And tests show that great design actually converts better than amateur design. So it's not just my opinion that I'm telling you here. And of course, this is always subjective, but let's keep some things in mind. So we know that people judge websites in less than just 50 milliseconds. So that is 0.05 seconds. So 1/20th of a second, we will already have a judgment in the brain about the website. And a lot of that will be design related, because design will be more quickly processed than text. So another important number to consider here is first impressions are actually 94% design related and only 6% content related. So how your design looks actually measures a lot and dictates a lot on how people actually see your product and service. So look and feel of the website is actually the main driver of first impressions. And poor interface design is really correlated with this kind of rapid rejection and mistrust you get sometimes of a website. So when participants of these studies, if they don't like some aspects of the design in the very first seconds, they often just bounce without interacting at all. So we can draw a conclusion from these tests that great design actually encourages people to trust you and to also stick around and read more. So that is like, you could say, above the fold design. But what can we do with the below the fold design, and where does great design, so to say, come to play? And you could say this is the meat of the design, if that was the kind of like the sauce. This is where you're really looking to engage the visitor for a long enough time for them to buy into your message. So first point here really is that design gives your copy a chance to be read. And what I mean by this is that if you are creating a novelty with images, with great design, you're able to engage the visitor in a way that is a lot more better, more engaging than a boring wall of text, for example. So in general, we could say like the simpler and more familiar the design, the better. And this is because simpler design actually minimizes noise. So if there's less elements, less columns, less banners, less sliders, that is actually better design, because it will give your copy and your textual message a chance to be heard. So simple design is really the opposite of complex design. And noise also equals distraction. And simplicity is just focusing on the clarity of purpose. So that's why simple design is also often great design. So let's think of it this way. If each page has a single most important goal, called a singular goal, then everything not contributing to that goal should pretty much be removed and could be considered as bad design. And here we are bridging the gap between the design enthusiasts and actually what the people say when design doesn't matter. I think they both have their correctness, but at the same time, they are not able to kind of like see the other people's views. So what people say and mean when they say that design actually doesn't matter is that they want the design to focus on minimizing the noise and focus on the value proposition. And when people say that design is really important, they mean simple design that doesn't actually provide a lot of noise, but also keeps the novelty there. So I would actually say both of them are right, but we have to strive for a single core idea that has a really real clarity, and also design consistency. So striving for simplicity and what we would consider to be great design is not really about having less, but it is about having enough for people to engage and having that clarity around the most important points. And let's also keep in mind, to finish this video off, at the end of the day, if you cannot measure something, you cannot improve it. And this is the problem with design in general. But we can keep in mind the end goal. So we want to help the website visitors do something a little bit more successfully. So if our goal is to make money, even our designs should be all about the money. So let's measure design as something that is really connected to the business goals, and we should treat great design not as what looks the best or what the CEO likes, but as the one that is actually bringing in the money. All right. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Hopefully you learned a couple of things, and hopefully I was able to bring in some clarity on the thinking of what is actually great design and what is not. And make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. There will be a lot of content on conversion rate optimization, web design, and in general on how to sell more online. All right, thanks, and I'll see you on the next video.